Hey, howdy, hey, good lord, Braggart, isn't that a bit much? I thought it would just brighten up the room a bit. Well, why just you? Why not a picture of Killjoy or something? You know, I couldn't find a picture or a video for that matter where Killjoy was smiling. So, alright. Hey, howdy hey, and welcome back to Emily's Adventures in Horrorland. And if you're new here, just welcome! We're glad to have you. Yes, very happy. Guess what time it is? That's right, it's Stalker Month! Woohoo! Got the rose petals this year. As you may or may not know, on this channel we dedicate the month of February to horror or more commonly thriller films that have an element of stalking. We talk about what kind of stalker each film is dealing with, discuss common tropes of these movies, the psychology of stalking, etc, etc. I have a playlist of all the ones I've done so far in case you're new, linked in the description below. Today's film was requested by Lee from the channel Drum Dums. It does not have very many positive reviews on IMDb, so I'm sure Killjoy would have a lot to say about it if she was still alive. It's the story of a talented young swimmer who has himself a fan who is not his girlfriend, and this film has frequently been described as Fatal Attraction with teenagers. Yeah, there was a trend of movies that were just classic movies remade with teenagers. Rarely in my experience was this change in dynamic a positive or worthwhile one, but we shall see. We shall see. Some cello setting the mood. This is Benjamin, which is also the name of my most cherished childhood bear. I miss him. And his girlfriend Amy having a little hanky-panky in public. Oh, he has a dog! Who I'm sure is a very good dog, but come on dude, don't feed from the table. He has a meeting with his pushy coach.
Stanford Scouts are flying down here a week from tomorrow. For the next 8 days, I want you living in that pool. And when you're not swimming, I want you thinking about swimming. I want you dreaming about it. What are you talking about here? Your entire future?
We then meet Benjamin's girlfriend Amy and his friend Josh, who is a bit of a jerk. I mean jock.
You're gonna kick ass. I hope so.
Oh yeah, that is until I outswim your little punk ass, and those scouts forget they ever knew your name and hand me the scholarship.
I just remember why we broke up, Josh.
She couldn't handle me in bed, or?
No, because you're an asshole.
Then a dude called Dante bumps into him, and I don't know why we're focusing on this, but yeah, a dude bumps into him.
Can you picture it? Me in California.
And me in Rhode Island. It's 3,000 miles, Glenn.
I know how many miles it is.
California is 3,000 miles away? I feel you, bro. That was the entire Atlantic Ocean for me and the dude I now live with. So he has some sweet nothings with her, gives her a necklace, all that jazz.
That is so beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Your face is beautiful. Well, your nan is beautiful.
This is a ploy to get laid.
Yeah, pretty much at that age. The next thing we see is a pretty blonde applying some lip balm, which as we all know is something only psychopaths do. She gets Ben's attention in the hallway and lets him pick the lock on her locker.
Keep it.
Oh, but it has your dandruff on it.
I'm Madison, by the way. Madison Bell.
Ben Cronin.
She seems interested in him and even does the Alex Forrest, I think I will stalk him face. Turns out that Ben is either studying to become a doctor or volunteers as one. Sounds like a packed schedule. I hope he's not training to be a real doctor, as long as the movie implies that he'll get into Stanford based on his swimming anyway.
Did you miss me?
Oh, do these two ever stop smooching? She floats the idea of changing her chosen school so they can live closer together when he gets into Stanford. Later on, his jock friend fills him in about Madison Bell, the blonde from earlier, who is also the cousin of Christopher Dante. That's why they made a big deal of the shoulder bump earlier. Yeah, this movie knows what it's doing. Ben gets a Matrix moment when he gets distracted by a gorgeous blonde and nearly runs over another gorgeous blonde.
Let me give you a ride.
I'm fine.
Please. I insist.
Yay! Madison gets a free ride.
And a hot plate.
You're a handy guy to have around, Ben Cronin.
Yeah, I'm handy all over the place.
They seem to be setting up a little mutual attraction, I think. She leaves her notebook in his car, which contains written music and his initials. Spooky. And it can't wait until school tomorrow, so he goes over to her place to return the book. Dante. And she hasn't eaten all day, so they go out on a not date.
It didn't used to be so nice. I had a situation with drugs, which turned into a situation with stealing.
Ben reveals that juvenile detention gave him the opportunity to learn how to swim good. Meanwhile, she hints at a vague need to escape.
I play cello, and I just float out of my body up above the music where no one can touch me, I can escape.
Do you want to escape?
Not right now. Right now, I like where I am.
Madison, I should tell you something.
You have a girlfriend.
He offers his friend Josh as a sort of consolation prize, but she's quite adamant that he's the one that she wants. He is the one she wants. Ooh, 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 honey. And for part 2 of the not date, here they are swimming together.
I can't swim.
She's gonna be drowned at the end, isn't she? Yep. Don't do it, Benjamin. Oh, he did it.
I got a little secret.
Well, I still prefer this to Idris Elba's never wavering, I love my wife Beyonce temperament in Obsessed.
Tell me you love me. You don't have to mean it.
And he bloody does.
I love you.
Okay, rule 1 for not getting stalked to death in movies. Don't stick your dick in crazy. And don't rub your lady parts all over crazy either. Forgive me for being crude, but you just don't do it. For the same reason you don't give the dog table scraps. It encourages begging.
Still friends?
I don't know, man. It got really weird.
I left you something.
What?
It's in your locker. I hope you like it.
I'm trying to like his girlfriend, but she's just kind of generically cutesy right now. I left something in your locker, winky face. Granted, this does set up the fact that he's now getting flowers from Mad, as Amy doesn't recognize them, but all she's done so far is be generically sweet and understanding and there. What will often happen in stalker films with a cheating subplot, which I will grudgingly add Obsessed to, is that the wife or girlfriend will have a showdown of their own with the stalker character, since they are directly in competition for the affections of the stalkee. Now, there are other films that I would classify more as home invasion films: The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Single White Female, and the horror movie Orphan. These home invaders often have an interest in the spouse, but when their advances are rejected, the spouse ends up with broken legs or even gets killed. In stalker movies, the spouse is usually triumphant, so I'll be interested to see which direction they go with Amy. Will she end up victorious or just dead? Yeah, let's get our swim on!
Keep your focus. Focus is key.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on getting the scholarship by the end of this movie. Just be grateful to still be alive. Madison asks when Benjamin will see her again, heavily implying that she'll tell Amy what happened if he refuses. This is also something I see a lot in stalker films that have a cheating subplot. I guess it's hard to do one of these movies and keep it fresh, eh? Swimfan? That's the title! Why, oh why do their lockers have to be so close together?
I'm not seeing Olympic swimming out there. You'd better get your head back in the game.
Get your head in the game. We gotta get ahead in the game.
Are you listening to me, son?
Yeah.
And Madison has now met his parent. Time to tell Mum what's going on. I said time to tell Mum Yo! Benjamin, time to—
I think that you're misunderstanding our relationship in a very fundamental way.
Now I'm going to talk about Mad's performance. Up until now, her character has appeared quite cheerful and innocent, even a little checked out. Now that Ben's insisting they forget their glorious yet short-lived affair, she has a little malicious gleam in her eye, but she doesn't quite have me convinced that she's madly in love with Ben or anything. Their chemistry is quite lacking, in part because of Ben's reluctance, but it has to do with her as well. Not only that, but I don't quite believe that she is a BPD sufferer or a erotomaniac or anything like that. I'll explain why a bit later. This calls for sad cello music.
Sorry.
See? Begging. Begging for scraps. Anyway, so commences the torrent of crazy one can expect from a rejected stalker in a stalker film. Oh boy, oh, that takes me back. Is it just me or does she look just like a sex doll in this image? Amy doesn't see, luckily, but she seems upset that he's busy, because, you know, she wants to get it on before he goes off to uni. Oh good, Mad's found a new plaything.
When I'm with him, I pretend it's you.
Never mind.
Maybe you should consider dropping some of your commitment.
Jesus, I'm trying to drop you. Madison, I don't know any other way to say this.
They do this cutting to the same thing deliberately a few times. Honestly, it's a strange editing choice. At the hospital, Ben's elderly patient asks what's up. But Ben acts like a jerk. He may come to regret that, as somehow the patient is given the wrong pills. He's fired. Yeah, climb those stairs.
I know what you're doing. I'm telling you right now that you better cut this shit out.
Ooh, threaten her and put your hands on her neck. That'll help matters.
You're gonna stop paging me, you're gonna stop visiting me, okay? Good girl.
Well, that was uncomfortable all round. Good girl. Really? Good girl? He tries to talk to his girlfriend about what's going on, but Mad gets in first.
When it's all brand new, somehow it all catches up with you.
2 commitments down. What's next? Maybe the swimming. How's she gonna sabotage that? Just turn up and distract him? Put washing up liquid in the pool?
Your urine tested positive for anabolic steroids.
Ah! How the fuck did she get those? Man, it's mighty convenient that he had an exploitable character flaw that he told her about. Josh figures out what Madison's up to after she calls him the wrong name, and summarily dumps her.
Get back here! Josh, come here! Josh! Josh!
Oh, good idea. A nice swim will help relax. Oh, for the sake of piss. Bye-bye, Josh. Every time I see her, she gets more and more like a Disney villain. This is kind of why I don't buy her as an erotomaniac. The likes of Alex Forrest and Evelyn Draper are shown to display a range of quickly cycling emotions, which they experience quite intensely. They're often speculated to be in the throes of borderline personality disorder, also known as emotional dysregulation disorder, for this reason. They are quite mentally unwell. Even Lisa from Obsessed is shown behaving erratically in this regard, quitting her job so that they can be together, attempting suicide, and other things that are detrimental to her because she so depends on Derek's love. Now, Madison claims to be quite tortured, but she only really pursues Ben for a time and spends the rest of the movie exacting petty revenge. She seems proud of her actions and in control, which means she's missing the essence of what made Alex Forrest so compelling.
You didn't see anyone else enter or leave the pool?
I told you that I didn't see
No, I know. I'd like you to take me through it again.
And now Ben's being investigated by police? Of course!
So arrest me.
We're not there yet. But, as they say, don't leave town.
Fucking guy thinks he's Tony Soprano. The very least Ben can do is to keep his nose clean and not do anything incriminating or suspicious. Maybe he can go to police with all the hundreds of unopened emails from Mad, something like that? Or just break into her house and go through her stuff. Sure, the more evidence the better. Don't know what I was thinking. Here we find out she has a volunteer uniform for the hospital and a box of crazy. Dante! Actually, looks like he's trying to help. Not so creepy after all. They go to talk to another stalky of Madison's, Jake Donnelly, and the once promising young athlete is not so athletic anymore.
Why you kids don't wear your seatbelts, I don't know. His girlfriend did, walked away without a scratch.
Okay, first of all, nice, saying it right in front of Jake. Meanwhile, Amy suffers a casualty, and the sole witness is saying Ben did it. Do they just let anybody volunteer at the hospital and pour through the medication? I don't get it. There she goes with her supervillain high heels. Only woman who wears them in this movie, apparently.
Jake Donnelly, please report to the nurse's station. Paging Jake Donnelly. Jake Donnelly, please report to the nurse's station.
Okay, you have to admit, the speaker getting closer and closer is pretty funny. It appears that Jake has come to the hospital, but it's revealed to be Dante instead. And Jesus, Ben, aren't we trying to clear your name?
I'm already gonna spend the rest of my life in prison. What's one more?
So they get a video confession or something, and with 24 minutes of movie left, I'm sure everything is back to normal. Isn't there a reason the cop never sits in the back of the stupid cop car with the arrested party and a gun on his belt? Meanwhile, these two have a moment.
My dad used to cheat on my mom. It broke her heart. You're everything I ever wanted. I remember swearing to myself that I would never be like him and that when I found somebody that I loved, I would love her forever.
You'd think that would prevent you from cheating. Look, you can be sorry for what you did, but don't come in with all this "you're all I could ever want" nonsense. There's a knock at the door. The police car is outside. Time to wander around in a circle and let the person who rang the bell sneak right on in.
Mom.
Mum's on the floor. Girlfriend's been kidnapped. Good job, Benja fucking Min. Guess where the final showdown takes place. If you don't get it right on the first guess, then congratulations on seeing your first movie. Guess what else? He uses the hairpin that Madison gave him to unpick the handcuffs and rescue Amy. It's all coming together. Ugh, what else is on? I would really like to watch something else. Like Red Dragon or... Madison falls into the pool where she can't remember the swimming lessons from Ben and swiftly drowns. And Ben never goes for a dip again. Shame. All in all, this isn't the worst movie I've ever seen. It's not even the worst Stalker film I've ever seen. It's just a little unnecessary. It really does feel like Fatal Attraction with teenagers, and yet it fails to live up to the high standards set by the preceding movie. The Stalker character has no depth or pathos, and poor old Amy really got the shaft in this one. She's just rescued at the end. She doesn't get a chance to whack Madison over the head, or even get really badly hurt. Even in this interview I found with the main actors, poor old Shiri Appleby has nothing to say about her character.
He's not willing to mess with everything that he's worked so hard to create with Amy, which is my character. And I think that the impact of having sex and being denied from that sort of drives Madison crazy, and she reacts in really crazy, silly sort of ways.
So for all those reasons, I give this film 4 jam sandwiches out of 10. I guess Killjoy was right. I really do tend to stick to the 4 or 7 score. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes a 4 or a 7 is just what a movie deserves. Though this one gets a solid 10.5 from me. I really can't get used to that thing behind you. Why don't you take it down? Certainly not. I might break a nail. Alright, it can stay. Just as long as you're not selling it online or anything. I won't. But what a good idea, eh? Who wouldn't want this gorgeous face all over their walls? It's like you're stalking yourself. Jesus. Well, I'll see you all in the next video for Stalker Month. According to my poll on my Facebook page, you've decided that falling down doesn't really count, but if you're on my Patreon, you will be able to see a review of it. Just for you guys, because I like you. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio.